So we said last time that the title was already over, and now it officially is, but there was a brief moment when it very nearly wasn't. Hello everyone and welcome back to the final part of Chelsea Challenge of this season, our third season at the club. I'm Mr. Grant2, thank you very much for watching, and well yes, Liverpool have won the Premier League again for the second year in a row, but we've chased them down, and they had a pretty big lead at one stage, so not the worst performance ever. A spirited title challenge, I think it's fair to say, and it's not going to go to the final day, but it very, very nearly did. So last time we managed to overcome PSG once again, and since then we did win our two Premier League matches, a 2-1 win against Burnley. Mason Mount and Christian Pulisic with the goals. We've got to see the Christian Pulisic goal. The scores were 1-1 at this time, and then this happened. Maignan with a free kick from deep straight to Christian Pulisic, and that is what you like to see. A 2-0 win against Southampton then followed Jorginho and N'Golo Kante with the goals in that one, and that put us in it was a really good position because Liverpool managed to lose 1-0 to Norwich with Trent Alexander-Arnold getting sent off as well. That meant that they had to play Everton and then they had to play Manchester United. If they lost or drew with Everton, there was a chance that if they then lost to Man United, we could overhaul them and win the title on the final day of the season. But then they played Everton and they beat them 6-0, so that was a short-lived dream. But we can still get second place if we beat Arsenal today, and that would be nice, because otherwise we will be looking at our third straight season of a Champions League final and finishing third, which is a nice pattern, but it'd be nice to go slightly better than that. Christopher Ayer he's told me that even though I promised him we'd win the league title by now, he'd be happy to stay if we won the Champions League instead. I mean, to be honest, mate, you don't really play very much, so if you did get annoyed and want to leave, it wouldn't really be the end of the world. Oh, he's changed his mind instantly. He now says that we can have one more season for that. Oh, okay. Okay. Now I should say that this is going to be not only the final episode of Chelsea Challenge for the season, it's also going to be the final regular episode of the save on the channel. Regular episode in the sense that I will still play this save. I'm going to still play this save, and I will bring you sort of end of season summaries for every subsequent season that I play, assuming I don't get sacked at any point. But in terms of regular saves, we are going to be starting a brand new journey, and it's gonna be a journey. It's going to be a journeyman. We'll see where things end up, but we are going to be starting it right at the bottom of the Football League in Sky Bet League 2, not non-league, but the bottom of League 2. So look out for that. It's going to be starting in 2 days' time. Make sure you're subscribed as well so you do not miss the start of that one. It should hopefully be interesting. We're going to see how well we can do in sort of a sort of regular career for a retiring ex-footballer. But we need to end this season and this regular save on a high, and we can do that by finishing second in the Premier League, and then of course get our second Champions League title of the save so far. Didn't mention in all of that Mason Mount is injured. I thought we would definitely get an injury to one of the players given how many games they've just played in a row. Mason Mount, probably of all of the players, is the one who was sort of expendable. Is not a nice word, but the least significant. Least significant, we'll go with that. So yeah, he's going to be missing this one, which is unfortunate considering that both Hudson-Odoi and Marco Asensio have been pretty much useless throughout this season. Anshavi's also injured as well, so we can't even bring him in. But otherwise, the team is going to be the same. Kepa's going to be in goal. Aaron Martin at left back. Reece James at right back. Tomori and Martinez in the middle, Jorginho, Kante and Zaniolo the midfield, Chiesa on the right, Hudson-Odoi on the left, and Erling Haaland up front. Right, we're on a scintillating run of form, it's fair to say. Since we lost in the FA Cup semi-final to Wolves on penalties, we've been really good. Can we please be really good in this episode? Early highlight, and Hudson-Odoi is not on target. Would Mason Mount have scored that? Would he? Would Asensio have scored that? Who knows? I think we wanted to win the Premier League this season, but it's been a good year anyway. Even if we lose here and end up finishing third again, I think the middle part of the season we were really poor. But I think a lot of it was down to just luck. Tammy Abraham's form dropped off the face of the earth, but we've really recovered since then. I think the vertical tiki-taka tactic has sort of been sort of been shelved. But the regular tactic, the one that I think it's mostly gegenpressing. As Lacazette's in, he has 3 goes at it. Horrific mistake from Tomori, but luckily doesn't cost us. This tactic's been generally quite good since we've switched to it full time, and I'll probably just keep using this one going forwards in the save, and it's probably what we'll try and use in the new save as well. Well, it might be a bit silly using it in League 2, but we'll give it a go. Reece James with the corner in. It's been Arsenal who've more or less dominated this one so far. We have had a good chance though. Kante, oh my goodness me. He has not had his vintagest, that's not a word, he's not had his best season, not his usual vintage, but he has scored a cracker there, and he's been in fine goal scoring form in the last few games, and that is another brilliant strike from him. Completely catches out Bernd Leno in the Arsenal goal, and we've got the lead. It's not even Bernd Leno, is it? It's Neubel. They've got Neubel as their first choice now. It caught Leno out as well, but he was just on the bench. I'm not sure how much we deserve it, but we have got the lead at the break. Remember that we don't need to win this game. A draw would be enough for us to finish, well, second. It's essentially meaningless. It's a few extra £1 million, but it would be nice to finish second. It's better than third. That's the rhyme, isn't it? First the worst, second the best, third the one with a hairy chair. You know it. So second is the best place to finish, really. We want to make sure as well that nobody gets injured for the Champions League final, so I'm probably going to make some substitutions in a minute of our sort of key players. Chiesa is quite injury prone. We don't want him to go down with anything, maybe even Martin as well. But he was certainly Reece James. Haaland is in though, great chance, and once again, he's not very good at scoring one-on-ones, but then again, nobody is. Arsenal coming forwards from Digne. Chiesa pressing him though, but they still get it back. It's come through the midfield for them. Digne again to Memphis Depay, and it's a tame effort in the end from the Dutchman, which Kepa is able to claim. Please no goalkeeping clangers or defensive clangers. That's a defensive clanger. Tomori. What on earth was that? I thought Kepa was going to do something stupid. He had that look about him. He did do something stupid. He gave it to Tomori, who just gives it to Pedrinho. We've scored 2 great goals like that in the last 2 episodes, and now it's the turn of the AI. And, well, are we going to finish third? It's a mess in the box. We get away with it. So this is fine. A draw is fine. Right, Chiesa's nervous, and I'm nervous he's going to get injured, so we'll bring him off. Aaron Martin as well can come off for Emerson. They've done well since they've been introduced to the team. Is there another chance for us? Kante, it's another thunderbolt from him. Where's this come from? This new refined goal-scoring Kante. He's getting a bit older, but he's not getting any worse. Manolas with a poor header. Zaniolo flicks it off. That is absolutely fantastic. He's on a hat-trick now, is N'Golo. 2 absolute screamers from him. 3 minutes to go. I've taken off Reece James for Antonio Rudiger, who's not played any football for months, which is probably a stupid idea because he wasn't the quickest anyway, and we might get away with it. Erling Haaland to Christian Pulisic, looking for anyone really. He's kind of been penned back a bit, but Jorginho gets it back, gives it away. Tomori gives it away, and Arsenal come forwards again. Torreira with a shot, and it's an easy goal for them. It's an easy goal. They got the equaliser. We're going to coast home to a win here. Coast home to second place. It's going to be a nervy finish. We're still on for it, though, of course. A draw is absolutely fine. Lovely turn and take from Torreira. That's a fantastic goal. Absolutely brilliant from Torreira there. Defence asleep. Tomori's had a pretty poor game. It's still not over. It's over now. I don't really care. It's not the end of the world. I shouldn't have taken off Reece James, should I? Manolas with the header. Nothing Kepa could do about it. It's 3-2 to Arsenal, and we're going to finish third again. It's a good job we weren't on to win the league, because that would have been absolutely devastating. Instead, it's just sort of same old Chelsea, third place again. We were seconds away from an FA Cup final a few episodes ago. We were seconds away from finishing in second place, but we're not. We're not the best. We've just got a hairy chest. We're consistent, if nothing else. Very consistent. More points this year. 7 points more. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like this has been the hardest season. This has been the most difficult season, the most sort of stressful season. but actually we've done the best in terms of points, just not in terms of position. Oh, goodness me, right? Everyone's going to have a rest. I need a rest after that, but I'll see you in just under 2 weeks' time for the Champions League final. Hopefully, it'll be slightly less dramatic than that. Or actually, we'll come back a bit sooner because there's awards and stuff. Kepa gets Golden Glove for the league, that's nice, isn't it? We finished third though, so it's not that good. Reece James gets in Team of the Year, continually justifying his selection. Rudiger wants to leave. I mean, to be honest with you, that's absolutely fine because the only game you've played in the last few months, we ended up chucking away a 2-1 lead. So yeah, you can just go. Oh, okay. He doesn't want to leave. He just wants to go on loan. Well, you're being sold. And those guys win the FA Cup as well, capping a decent-ish season for them. Tammy's upset that he's not playing more games. I mean, I'm upset that he's not scoring more goals. And so, for the third season running, we end with the Champions League final. And this time we are playing Manchester City, and this time as well, it is in the Stadion München. I'm assuming that's what they're calling it. That's the basic name, the non-sponsorship name. You might know it more as the Allianz Arena, home of Bayern Munich and the site of Chelsea's first and in real life only Champions League win. Is it a good omen? Well, that remains to be seen, but this is the team. Obviously not ideal preparation with a defeat to Arsenal. Everyone's morale is a little bit low. I mean, should we do a team meeting? We could do a team meeting. I'm not sure it's really a good idea though. There isn't a suitable reason to hold a team meeting. I must have skipped past that. I'm just an excellent manager really. But anyway, this is the team. Then Kepa, of course, is going to be in goal. He had a bit of a dip last year, but a vintage season for him. Back to his best, I think. Won the Golden Glove. Some brilliant saves from him. Aaron Martin's at left back. He's come in. We bought him as a backup last season. He's come in though, and he's been really, really solid. Reece James is probably going to win Player of the Year, and I think rightly so. He has been his usual brilliant self. The defence, there's some question marks. They've been pretty good defensively. Lisandro Martinez is going to be on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side is our Academy product as well for KO Tomori. In fact, actually, before we look at the rest of the team, I just want to look. What were our final sort of stats in terms of goals? So 456 against 17. 17. We had the best record in the league by 10 goals over Manchester City in terms of fewest goals conceded. That is fantastic. How much did we improve in terms? We did improve quite a lot in terms of goals for from where we were at the start, at the sort of middle point of the season. So defensively, very, very good. Jorginho has, of course, been a big part of that. He's going to sign a new contract. Going to be on a lot of money. £300,000 a week is a lot of money for a 30-year-old, but he deserves it. He's so good. That passing, that technique, that work rate, really, really good. He's physically still amazing. Stamina of 16. He's going to be fine for a long old time. And N'Golo Kante, similar situation. I mean, his tackling and his work rate. You can't really get many other players that good. He's really he's improved a lot as the season's gone on, and he's generally very consistent anyway. Nicolo Zaniolo, one of the big signings that we made last summer, and really the absolute best of those, you would say, over the course of the season. Max Aarons has kind of played a bit and fallen out of the team. Martinez has been very solid. Chiesa's come on, certainly in recent weeks, but Zaniolo has been the most consistent star man, chipping in with some great goals as well. Callum Hudson-Odoi is on the left-hand side, not ideal. He's not had a great season by any means at all. Nor is Marco Asensio. I would play Mason Mount, who is, in terms of star rating, the worst player of the three of them, and not a recognised left winger at all, but he at least plays relatively well. Chiesa was brought in as a big money signing, and he has improved considerably as the season has progressed, and once he's got over his injury problems. And Erling Haaland has done likewise. He's usurped Tammy Abraham, who looked in a sort of insurmountable position, but as Abraham and his goal scoring form fell off the cliff, Haaland has picked up the mantle. So then we can have a full bench for this one. Mason Mount, how long is he injured for? He can be on the bench. It's a Champions League final. I think that's fair enough. And we're going to put Ethan Ampadu on there in place of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who has basically had no look in at all. And Antonio Rudiger can not be on the bench as well, because he probably is completely innocent of the collapse against Arsenal, but I mean, I put him on the pitch and we shipped 2 goals, so it's probably just a coincidence, but there we go. Anyway, let's get into it. So the last time we played Manchester City, we beat them 4-0. That would be lovely if we did that again. They've got threats throughout the pitch though. Ederson, they've got Sergio Reguilon, he's a really good left back. Cancelo's still there. John Stone's still there. Florentino Luis at defensive midfield. Of course, this random Scottish regen that they've brought in from St Johnstone, who is their other starting defender, which is very weird. Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne are still there. Bernardo Silva still there. And they've got Vinicius Jr. and Harry Kane, who you might have heard of. He's quite good. But can we end the year on a high? You deserve the trophy. I expect you to win it. They don't really care. They're not bothered. Most of them have got a Champions League medal anyway, so they're not really interested in winning another one. I mean, actually, how many of the players were in the victorious first season final? Kepa, obviously. James Tamori. Martinez wasn't. Martin wasn't. Jorginho was. Kante was. Zaniolo wasn't. Chiesa wasn't. Hudson-Odoi was, but Haaland wasn't. So more of the team have won a final than not. Early highlight, chance comes in from Harry Kane, and City do not score. There's another highlight for Man City. We've got a bit of an injury on Sergio Reguilon, which could potentially help us, but probably won't. Cancelo's through Bernardo Silva with a fierce shot, which Kepa manages to parry away. It's been City at the moment who have had the highlights, although it's quite even in terms of the stats. Reece James with a free kick, which misses everybody and ends up going out for a throw-in. I'm not sure why that's considered a key highlight. Starting to work our way into the game a bit more, I think. Chiesa with a ball across. He misses Hudson-Odoi completely, but it comes back in from Aaron Martin. And there's the thunderbolt from Kante again. I mean, that's 3 in 2 games for him. All virtually identical. What's he been doing in training to allow him to do that? Takes that one, touches it down to James. James gives it back, and it's a lovely strike again. This is not what you expect from N'Golo Kante. But not just 3 in 2, 3 thunderbolts in a row in 2. A few minutes to go until half time. We've got the lead again. Kante's through again. Is he going to make it 2? Oh, so close. Saved by Ederson. The unlikely goal scoring machine is N'Golo Kante. Erling Haaland, though, a man who is actually paid to score goals, makes it 2-0. Reece James getting himself another assist. I think that's 2 assists in the game now, isn't it? Ederson. Dreadful goalkeeping from him, not what you expect, and Erling Haaland cannot believe his luck, puts it away, and we go into the break 2-0 up here against Manchester City. I think Allianz Arena, it's the best stadium in the world. Oh no, I mean, he was doing so well. The run is over, the machine is over, and N'Golo Kante is injured right after the break. He was obviously just too excited, bless him. He's going to have to come off. And we're going to bring on Mateo Kovacic to hopefully see it out. Reece James with a free kick from deep. Can he get a hat-trick of assists? He can't. Martinez hits the crossbar. James again with another free kick. It's been the main source of highlight that we've seen in this game. And this one is going to be a Manchester City highlight. Bernardo Silva running through. Great block from number 11. It's not Martinez, is it? It might be Martinez. Whoever it was. Well done, sir. Just a few minutes left, City still coming, but Zaniolo clears it away, and Erling Haaland, it's Haaland, he's number 11. Great block from him. He scored a goal, he nearly scored another, he saved one at the other end. 4 minutes of injury time to go. I don't want to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do any subs either, because if they somehow score 2 goals, then we'll save them for that. We don't need them. We don't need them at all, because we've won the Champions League once again. 2-0. It was never in doubt. Great performance at the front and at the back. And we have, at the site of Chelsea's first ever Champions League win, won the competition again, and this time at the expense of Manchester City. Oh, I'm still kind of a little bit disappointed about the Arsenal result, but that definitely makes up for it. Great performance, great win. We've won the Champions League again. We can't win the Premier League. We can't win that. That's too difficult, but we can win the Champions League. What a place to win it in as well. Kante's got injured. He can have 3 weeks on the sofa, have a bit of a rest. But there we go. We've won the Champions League once again. Fantastic performance. What a way to end the regular part of this series. £17 million is what we get. Everyone gets a medal, which they deserve. I mean, Anchovy's getting the Champions League medal, which I think is more than justified given his contributions to the season. Jody Morris can do the press conference. We've won silverware, which is 2 years ahead of schedule, and even though we've won it every year, it's always ahead of schedule. We go in the Hall of Fame for English managers, which is brilliant. 2 Champions Leagues in a row. The board are thrilled. Reece James has played amazingly well, getting himself 2 assists in a Champions League final, which is exactly what you'd expect from a player of his quality. Another 8 million as well, 28 million as well as that. So much cash. How much have we got in the bank? 310 million. I think we need to start thinking about building a new stadium, or I do anyway, and I'll keep you up to date with any sort of progress. Let's see if we can get the end of season review type stuff coming up. Man City have had enough. They've sacked Allegri. That defeat has cost him his job. But we are very much still in the job. This is the overall 11 for the save so far. Let's see what we think. Kepa's in goal. Rudiger is for some reason in central defence, despite the performances of Martinez. I would question that. But otherwise, we're looking quite good. Pulisic still in there. Asensio has gone in there on the left-hand side, which probably says a lot about the other players we've had in that position. Mason Mount's still in there ahead of Zaniolo. And Tammy Abraham, of course, he's still up front, even though he's not been very good this season. Player of the season is Reece James. That is just not in question at all. Tammy Abraham got goal of the season against Liverpool. I would question that given some of the goals N'Golo Kante's been scoring recently. Zaniolo is signing of the season. James cleans up young player of the year as well. What a season it's been. Let's have a look at the stats. Tammy and Erling Haaland actually both joint top scorer with 19 goals, which is quite interesting. James' highest average rating, of course. He gets most assists with Marco Asensio with 10. Kepa gets best pass completion, though he doesn't have much to do. Most awards for player of the match go to Reece James. He gets the most yellow cards as well. And Emerson got sent off twice. So, I mean, it's a lot like the first season. We did get to the FA Cup semi-final, which was good. We didn't win the League Cup this time. That's different. But we finished third again, and we won the Champions League again. And that's quite good. What do the board want going forwards? Next season, they do want us to qualify for the Champions League again. So they don't actually want us to win the league again until the season after. I've told the players we're going to challenge for the title, which they seem completely fine with, which is good. I'm not going to promise that we are going to win. But players in the Champions League, Dream 11. Aaron Martin smashing his way in there. Love to see that. Tomori in there as well. And Haaland. Martinez, though, I mean, that makes no sense at all. Tomori's in the team, but Martinez wins Defender of the Season. He's not in the team of the season, but he's the defender of the season. So there we are. They're not bad for 3 years in the job. We have won 2 Champions Leagues, 2 League Cups, and a UEFA Super Cup as well. It would have been nice to win the Premier League. We're very consistent, if nothing else. Incredibly consistent. It's been a lot of fun. We've had some fun games, some funny moments, and some good players. And thank you very much if you've enjoyed any part of it, if you've followed along. I know there's some of you that have been watching since the start, which is I think is very nice. So thank you very much if that's you. I hope you can join me as well for the new series starting in 2 days' time. As I said, it's not the end of this. It's a sort of farewell but not goodbye. I will continue to play this save, and I will do videos sort of as a sort of end of season summary for each subsequent year that we go, to keep you up to date with how things went. But in terms of regular programming, as I said earlier, we will be moving on and focusing on our new save, which is going to be called, I didn't say it earlier, Careering Onwards. It's going to be a journeyman, and we're going to start our journey at the bottom of League 2. I won't say which team we're going to use yet, but you might be able to work it out if you look at last season's League 2 table. Thank you very much for your support in this series, and I hope you will follow on to that one too. Leave a like to this video if you've enjoyed it. Our heroics in the Champions League and our less than heroics in the league. Make sure you're subscribed as well so you don't miss what's to come. Thank you very, very much for watching any part of this video and this series, and I will see you next time.